Hello guys, so welcome to the second part of this video. We're going to be continuing from where we stopped in the first part. So in the first part we're trying to get the absolute URL um, for that site. So the first is getting the absolute URL. Then using the absolute URL, we're not going to um, send another request. So we're going to send in another request, another get mapping. So is this get request that will help us to be able to collect the information from the other site and then save it into our database. So just follow me and you see how we will do that. So we're going to be looking at the category of where the item is. We're going to be using a path variable to hold in that category. Then we're going to also be looking at the subcategory. So I'll just use sub there, and then we're going to use another path variable to hold in the subcategory ID. So public response entity. So in this case, we're going to be taking the list of phone, because that's what we are saving into database. So the category ID and the sub ID are both string formats. Also, we're going to be using okay, so this is how it's going to be. Equals to that's the phone service dot as get phone details and save, something like this. Then we're going to put in the category ID and the sub ID, and then we're going to return a new response entity of the response and the HTTP code dot OK. Okay, so now the next thing to do is to create this method here in our service implementation. So you click on it here, and then inside here we're going to call in JSoup to help us to connect to that. Okay, and before we do that, first of all we need to get the absolute URL, and to do that we need to run this project and then run this first endpoint here to get the absolute URL, and then when we get the absolute URL we'll use it into this other request here. So for now, let me just comment this so that it won't give us an error. Then I'll run the program. Oh, I think it's already giving us an error here. Okay, so what I can do, let me go back here. Instead of commenting this, I will just return, I will create a list of string. I'll create a list of phone. So it's going to be phone list equal to new array lists, and then I'll just return that. So I'll just do it like this. Okay. Okay, so our server is on now. So going to Postman. So this is the endpoint which we are going to locate this endpoint here. So /phone/absolute URL. Okay, so it's going to be localhost 8080, and then phones/absolute URL. So this is our endpoint here. So for us to get our absolute URL, so click on send. So this is it here. This is the Jumia's absolute URL. So I will just copy. I'll just have to copy this and using it into the next endpoint. You'll see how we're going to pass it into this new endpoint here. We're going back to service implementation. We're going to call the document equal to JSoup.connect, and then inside here, that's where we'll pass in the absolute URL here. The next thing to do is to add the category ID to this endpoint here, plus / sub ID. So this is going to be the absolute URL followed by what you will add as the category ID here, then / and then the resource ID as maybe the phone you are looking for, or the beauty cream you are looking for, and all. So I will show you how to do that later. So let's just continue. So I'll break this. Let me just break this here so we can see the full screen. And then the last thing to put here is .get, just like how we did here in this first one. So I'll add the exception to the method signature here. The next thing to do is to get the elements. So elements, let me use phone, and just save it as phone s equal to. Now I'm going to use doc.select. Okay, so I will show you what's going to be inside here. So going to Google, we need to put in the we need to put in the absolute URL. We need to put in the absolute URL, then followed by the category ID. So to get the category ID, because at this point we don't know what the category ID is or the categories that are in Jumia. So what we can do is that we'll first go to JSoup. So JSoup will give us different categories that are in Jumia. So what we'll do, we just go to JSoup, this first one, and then going down to try JSoup, into the fetch URL, you just drop the absolute URL, and click on fetch. So coming down here, to be able to get the different categories or the different pages to get to the different categories, normally when creating the HTML tag, is always kept in the href. So the href tag holds the different pages, the different links on Jumia's site here. So from here, it tells us the link and tells us what was passed to that link here. So it means that if you go to health/beauty, you'll get to the health and beauty category page. If you go to home-office, you will get to the home and office category page. So for what we are going to do, we're going to be looking at the tablets, for us to be getting to go to the phone and tablet class. So what to do here, this first number here, we'll click on it, and then it will take us to where it is inside the HTML body here. So we just copy phones and tablets here, copy, take it back into this Jumia's absolute URL here, and then click on enter. So you can see that it will take us directly to the phone and tablets category page here. And you can see that in Jumia you have 637 products found there under the New Year clearance sale. So there might be other absolute URLs, but in this case it's giving us this New Year clearance sales URL, and then 637 products are found there. So to locate the resource we want, as you can see, there are different resources here. There's the Infinix phone, there's the Ace, there's Tecno, there's Oraimo, there's Xiaomi, and different resource and products found here. So what we can do is that we can look at one particular product at a time. So what we're going to do is that, looking here, you can see Infinix. So what you do here, going back to the URL, you place Infinix here and click on enter. You will zero in into the products that contain Infinix as the first word there. So you can see Infinix here, Infinix, and the whole 7 of them are all Infinix. If you go here and you put something like Tecno, click on enter, you will see Tecno phones. So there are 5 Tecno phones here. If you use something like Samsung, so you're going to be getting these different Samsung phones too here. So we have 11 Samsung phones here. So what we're going to do, so remember in our endpoints here, we had the category ID and the sub ID. So the category ID will be the phone, iPhone, tablets, and then the sub ID will be the resource, that's maybe the Infinix or the Samsung or the Tecno or any other phone which you are trying to get the information from there. So going back, let us try to complete let's try to complete this logic here. So the CSS query, to get there, what we need to do, going back to Jumia, let's say we are looking at Samsung, at this page here, the next thing for you to do is to use the inspect function in Chrome. So you have to use a Chrome browser to do this part here. So going back, what we need to do, we have to first look at the section where these phones are kept, because you've noticed there are different sections when creating. This is the header part, this is the side part, this is the main body part where the phones are displayed here. So as I navigate to the different lines here, you see that you see a blue overlay, just like how you are seeing now. So going down, this one is for the header. As you can see, header is showing us a blue overlay on the Jumia's logo there. So what we're looking at is that as we're going down, we need to zoom into where the phone section is. So I will just going to go down. You can see this one is for the side section there. So now at this point now, you can see the section at this div element here, this div tag here. You can see that the overlay is on the phones section here. So that's what we need. We just click on the little arrow there. Then going down, we need to now, you can see this is the header of that section there. Going down, we need to get to where the image of the phone is located. So just take it line by line, you will get to the place. Let's go. So this div here. So let's go into this div here. And then you can see different articles. As I go through the articles, you will see that it's highlighting on different phone objects here. So the part that we're going to be looking for to get the CSS query is this part here, this .class, this class here. So you can see this kind of code inside here, the prod space underscore fb space co space c and others. So this is going to be our CSS query here. So if you can look at the overlay that is on the first phone, above it you will see article.prod underscore fb.col.c-prod. So that's article dot, the whole of that code there is going to be what we're going to need for the CSS query. So at this point here, we need to get a query that is unique to all the elements of that phone here. So you can see here that is all the same. So this is the same, this is the same. In fact, all the whole 11 Samsung phones here all have the same class here. So it means that when we call this CSS query, this first one here, surely we're going to get the whole 11 in a list. So that's what we're trying to do. We want to get a list of phones here. So going back here, you'll see that this element is actually a list of elements. So you're going to getting something in that is in a list format. So let's say I put in the article.prod. So let me just go back and copy it. So if I double click on it, I can just copy that part here. Going back to the code, I will just drop it here. And then I will close the spaces up. And insert a dot there. So you can see that this is equal to this here. The code that is above just look around here. You'll see a code there. So you can see this is equal to that code there. So that's the CSS query to be able to get this phone object details. So guys, that's it. Then at this point, we have gotten the whole list of Samsung phones here. The next thing to do is to create a for loop that will loop through these phones and get the individual phones for us inside there. So we'll be able to access the individual phones in this phone list here. So we're going to be using elements. So elements will hold a particular phone. So let's say individual phone, or just for short, let me just complete it. Okay, individual phone. You can actually name it anything you want to name it here. So for individual phone in phones. So we're trying to loop through the whole list of phone, and then while looping through, we're going to now try to get the name of the phone. So individual phone dot select. So we're going to put a CSS query there dot test. So test will return it in a list format, and then we're going to also do that for the price of the phone. So individual phone dot select and then dot test. Okay, so now to get the CSS query for the name and price, let's go back to Jumia there. Going into the first article here, that is for this first phone here, we want to be able to locate the name and the price of the phone here. So still going down. So this one will go down here. You can see that this holds the whole body of the first phone. So we'll enter into it. Coming down, you see this one holds this particular div holds the image of the phone. This other one holds the info of the phone. So that's why we're going to the info, because the info holds the name and the price of the phone. So you can see if I hover on the H3, you can see it holds the name. If I hover on the div, it holds the price. So trying to get this Samsung name here, you can see that if you hover on it, the code that is there is h3.name. Can you see it? h3.name on the overlay that comes out just above the overlay. You will see h3.name. So that's how to get the name of this Samsung product. And mind you, the name here is this h3.name is what we're going to be using to get all the whole names of different articles. So if I go to another article, let me close this and go to this into this body, I will see that it's still the same h3.name that I will use to get the second Samsung name here. So just above here, you'll see it. So this is it there. So h3.name will be able to give us the name of the phone, and then coming down here, you can see that div.proc will be able to give us the price of the phone, right? So that's what we're going to put in. The CSS query for name is h3.name, and then for the price is div.proc. So let's go back there. The first one is h3.name, and then the second one is div.proc. So that's it. So going forward, now there's something for you, mind you, there's something for you to get here. If you want to get the name of this product, you have to notice two things. You have to notice that the what you want to get, that is, like in this case, the name is in between the opening tag and the closing tag. If you look at the price, it's in between the opening div tag and the closing div tag. But in scenarios like this, you want like this image. Now to get this image, you actually can't get this image by clicking div.image.imagec, right? Because there's no string or string format or there's no string of the image in between the opening and closing tag. You will only see an image tag there. So there's another way of getting the image, but I'll be showing you in the next video how to do that. But like if you want to get this official store, you can see that it's in between the div and the opening div and the closing div. You can see. And then let me try and show you something. Coming down to this one here, to this old or discounted price here, you can see that this is the div for it. If you click on okay, so this is the div for it. If I click on it, you can see that the first one is old, and then the second one holds the discount that was given for that particular product there. So you can actually access the old price of this phone by using div.old, and for the discount you can actually access it by using div.bdg._ds and all this other code here, because it is in between the opening and the closing of that div tag. So let's just go back to in case you want to also get the review. You can see this is a div for the review. Opening it up, you'll see here it has a 51 review. So if you want to also collect information on the review number, you can see it here. So you can actually just use div.stars._s to get this 51. In this case, let me see, if I open up this, I can actually get the 4.2 review star rating here by using this div.stars._s. That's it, guys. So if you go through it, you'll be able to see other things you can also get from this body of this file here. So that this HTML, this takes you to this one will take you to the, let's see, okay, to the image of the phone, yeah. So in case you want to also collect the image of the phone, you can also do that. So you can see where it is inside the source, so the image source. So I'll be showing you in the next video how to be able to collect the information from the image source here. Okay, so let's go back to the code. So now we are able to get the name and the price. The next thing to do is to create a new instance of phone to hold the informations that we're getting here. So new phone, and then we're going to say new phone dot set. Remember, we have created a phone class here having the name and the price as the fields. So we're going to set name to name, so this name here, and then we're going to also set the price to this price here, right? Now it's giving us an error because in our class here we set it as a big decimal, but in this case we're setting it as it's coming out as a string. So you can see there, require type big decimal provided string. So what we can do is to create a new instance of big decimal and then passing in the price into it. But also be careful too, because also mind you that this price, there's a format in which it's coming in. So going back to Google Chrome, you can see that it's coming in as a Naira sign in front, followed by a space, then followed by the price of the phone. So we have to be able to remove this Naira sign and the comma sign, right? Okay, so what we'll do here, we'll use a substring to get to this 2. So that is going to be eliminating the Naira and the space. It's going to be substring of 2. We'll get to 2, this first character here, 2, and then we're going to also use a dot replace method to also replace comma to an empty string. So I'll show you how to do it here. So going back to this, outside here, I'll just do dots dot substring 2 dot replace comma to empty string. So you can see there. Then the next thing for us is to create the list of phone which we're going to use to collect the phones. So the list of phones. This. So remember, we're returning into the list of phones. So we need to create a list of phone to be able to collect the new information into and pass it into the list of phone, the phone list. And then we can now return this phone list. But before returning this phone list, we need to save the information, this new phone, into the database. So what we can do here is that we can say phone list dot add. So I want to add new phone into the list. After adding it, then coming outside of the for loop, I will return phone repository dot save all. So we're saving all, and the save all method takes in a list or a collection. So, and this is a phone list. So I'll just pass in the phone list here. And guys, that's how to do that. So let me go here and know what problem is here. I have to add exception to this. So this is it, guys. So for every time the individual phone goes through the phone S elements, so it takes in the name and the price, and then it sets this name and price into a new instance of that phone, then takes the new instance and adds it to the list. So for the first time it adds to the list, the second time again it adds the second phone to the list. If it does again, it adds the third phone to the list. At the end of the day, after adding any amount of number of phones, maybe if it adds them, in this case, Samsung has 11 products here. So it's actually we get 11 phones inside the phone list. And the next thing for us to do is outside the for loop, we now have to save all the whole 11 phone products into the database here. Yeah, that's how to do it. So I want to show you my database. I think I already have some things there already. Okay, so this will be the end of this video. I'll be showing you other things from here in the next video. So stay tuned, guys. Thank you.